Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. I'm Amina. If it's your first time here, please do hit the subscribe button. Like and comment below. Share this video with others if you believe it'll resonate and help them. I do feel like this reading, which is a song reading, by the way, it channeled in through a song. I do feel like it may be triggering for some of you. So the key when you have triggers, first and foremost, you center yourself, you ground yourself. You have to get to the bottom of why it's triggering, and then you have to start to cleanse it out. We're not meant to hold on to triggers. We're not meant to keep them bottled up. We're not meant to have them affect our life. We're meant to cleanse them out. I do feel like it's important to understand that sometimes what you think your divine masculine is up to, the reasons that you think there's a disconnect or a separation, a lot of times are very different. But yes, we are tapping into the masculine energy. We have Silent Thoughts, Divine Masculine Edition by Star Soul. On Instagram, she's known as Star Soul Holistics. I'll put her shop in the description below and her IG so that you guys can also check her out. We're going to hop right on into this reading. This is a general reading for the collective. I do feel like these masculines are, I must say this is more zoned in. A lot of times when I'm picking up on an energy, it can be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 groups of people with however many people in that group, right? And then the cards help me narrow it down so that you get the best description of who it is so that you can know. In this case, I do feel like it's a little bit more narrowed in. That's just what the energy is saying. It's more of a tight group this time, maybe 1 or 2 groups. So it's very important that you take what resonates and you leave what doesn't. This is a conversation, I feel, between you and the masculines. If you've been out of contact with them for a while, or maybe you are in talks, and you'll notice that these are some of the things that have come up. We're going to start off with the tarot, getting to the bottom of what's really going on with them. And then we're going to work our way to thoughts. And I may go to another deck. I may go to the feminine deck or the shadow if I feel necessary. So this may come off a little bit of a shadow reading. This is a Tuesday Mars reading. So we're focusing on strength and courage and power nonetheless. Let's get into the first card. We have 5 of Cups. So this is a divine masculine that's too focused on spilt milk. You know, this card in readings, depending on the energies and who you're reading it for, what's happening, it can mean a lot of things. It can mean that the masculine is the person that knocked over all these cups, and now he's sitting here depressed, not realizing he has 2 more cups that he can actually make a path with, make a new beginning with. Sometimes it's about the energy of whoever this card comes out for having spilt milk, and they're so busy, once again, focusing on that spilt milk, they don't realize that the sacred union of 2 of Cups is coming in, but that they may lose it if they don't act. In this case, it feels like a divine masculine is so busy focused on these spilt cups here, and this is something he felt like he worked a lot for. He worked a lot for this. Like if you notice, we have a cup here with clear liquid and then 2 cups with red liquid. It's like he put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into whatever it was he tried to get to come into fruition, to come into manifestation. And instead it resulted in these spilled cups. Now the problem is he has 2 cups here in the back, which represents, I feel like, the union between him and the divine feminine. But if he's not going to turn around and pay attention as he walks forward, he's going to spill those 2 cups too. So this divine masculine, I feel like this is past energy. For some, a mixture between half and half, like past and present. On one hand, yeah, they're a little too focused on the spilt cups, the mistakes, the tears they may have put you through, the tears they may have been through. I feel like family issues plays into this 5 of Cups as well. They're so busy thinking about that, they don't realize that, hey, you got 2 cups here that you can start a whole new beginning with. Oh, and by the way, if you walk forward without paying attention, you'll make these 2 cups fall as well. And I feel like these 2 cups represent him, the divine masculine, and you, the divine feminine. And this is energy. Some feminines feel like masculine, so take what resonates. But we have clarity trying to come in here. We have this divine masculine's higher self taking hold of clarity, wanting to really get to the bottom of what's going on with their mental state. Because, cups is emotional and the swords is mental. Most emotions in a mental state, when they clash with each other, it can create such an imbalance in a person. And this is someone who's starting to need this. So it explains that half and half feeling here. On one hand, focusing too much on spilt milk, what I could have done, woulda, shoulda, coulda, my mistakes, like that kind of mentality. And then we have clarity trying to come in. The higher self is trying to communicate. The divine is trying to activate his higher self and get him to have a stronger hold on his clarity. What is it that he needs clarified? What's he doing currently? We have a divine masculine that's currently working on their coin. I also feel like this is a little bit of avoidance. Yes, they're working on building their money up. They're working on being stable, perhaps becoming more stable for you, divine feminine. However, this is still on their mind. There's these cups that are spilled here. I do feel like whatever this is that they put blood and sweat and tears in, it's not business related. So they're kind of using business to cloud that judgment. This is also earth energy. So your person could be, or you could be, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. I'm sensing strong Capricorn energy here though. So whether it be that that's their sign in their chart somewhere, or in your chart, it also could be the energy of that person's current situation is Capricorn, because this is all about energy here. Sometimes the person doesn't have to be a sign. It's just, what does the sign mean as far as the energetic field that is around you? Same can be said when it comes to air signs for the ace and emotional signs for cups. We have Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This Ten of Pentacles in reverse actually feels related to something outside of you, divine feminines. And I'm feeling as if the divine masculines want to reverse this. But right now, whatever they're dealing with, whatever these spilled cups was really about, because these spilled cups feel kind of personal, whatever they were really about, they don't want you mixed up in the mess. It's messy. You see how they're spilt over. There's a mess on the floor. Whatever they're going through is messy. And some of you aren't in physical separation. You're in mental separation. You feel like your masculine is kind of withdrawing into self. You feel like he's not clarifying everything to you. He's not telling you everything. You argue a lot, and the arguments are ridiculous stuff. Like, it's not even that serious sometimes. And that's coming in because whatever he's dealing with, on the inside, whatever he's this mess, he doesn't want you a part of it. He wants to reverse this and have this with you. But right now, he's either dealing with someone or someone's where the Ten of Pentacles is in reverse. So this could also be him putting money. Perhaps he feels family obligations. Maybe this is family he's dealing with, or someone that he takes to be like family, someone he feels responsible for, and a huge part of that responsibility is financial. So this could be karmatic in that sense. Let's get into his thoughts. Thoughts for this Five of Cups energy. I need time to reflect on my actions. Remember what I said about these spilled cups? Sometimes it's the the divine masculine spills the cups over, and then it's the I should have done this, I could have done this, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this, and I messed it up, and all kind of in his head thoughts. And when divine masculines, you have to understand how energy is. Feminines can get in their head, but the process is different. The perceptions change and shift a little different. When masculines are in their head, and it's about a lot of emotions, it's an emotional tie to it, there's a strong, strong need to not appear weak. And the word weak for masculine energy it's been put in their mind and trained to be believed to be such a vulnerable, low vibrational state, when in reality, if we're able to be vulnerable and deal with what we believe to be our weaknesses, we gain great strength. Sometimes masculines feel like when they're going through that, if they were to be with someone, they would lash out all day, every day. And so they'd rather just be alone. Where sometimes feminine energy rather have at least one person they can call. You might like solitude to yourself for the most part sometimes when you need the moment to self. But you at least want to know I can pick up the phone and call a mother or an auntie or something. Masculines are very different most of the time. They may want to call someone, but they feel like they shouldn't or they couldn't or it's not right to do. It's too vulnerable to do. So might be something your masculine is dealing with and they don't want to lash out on you. You're already arguing. Because again, I don't feel like all of you are in physical separation. And even for some of you who are, you're in separation, you're on and off again, or you're trying to talk to each other, but there's these barriers. This masculine spirit is saying, I need time to reflect on my actions. But the problem is, they can't be stuck reflecting on this too long, or they're going to end up knocking over these cups. What's next? For that swords, arguing about petty things is affecting our intimacy. This isn't just about physical intimacy, though that plays a huge part. Huge part. This is also about spiritually communicating with each other and having understanding. That's what they needed clarity on. Because sometimes it's them starting the argument, sometimes it's you, divine feminines, because you're upset that they're not telling you what's going on. They're not telling you what's happening. Why are they acting out? Why did they leave? Why are they doing this? What are they so focused on that they can't let you know about it? What caused the separation? Whether it be spiritually feeling separated, mentally feeling separated, or physical separation. You're asking all these questions and they're just like, they can't, but they were participating with the argument. They were kind of also using the petty arguments to vent instead of just coming to you and saying, this is what my problem is. This is what I'm worried about. I feel like some of you know that they're obligated to family. Some of you know that they feel this intense obligation to either family or a person. Could be a person that makes you insecure, that makes you feel like, why are you giving so much to? So it could be a woman or another divine feminine energy. Like, why are you giving to this person so much? Why are you putting so much effort and time into it? It makes them feel like they can't explain to you why. Again, I don't feel like this group has cheaters per se. It's more like they're not energetically putting everything into you like they should because they feel so obligated to take care of someone else, and that person they take care of, there's a financial responsibility for it. But I feel like it's a lot more to this story than what meets the eye. Let's get to... Yep, see that King of Pentacles energy. I'm working overtime to secure a stable foundation for us. So some of them are working more than one job. They might be, trying to actually make a business of their own. So they could be working more than one job as they try to secure the money necessary to do that. This could also be some of your petty arguing. They're spending money on trying to also take care of something else or someone else, but they're also trying to make sure that they have enough money to support the lifestyle that you guys live, making sure there's a roof over you guys' head. And you're just like, well, all of your time is either at work or with this person. What the hell's going on? And it's creating these back and forths because, again, instead of them just trying to be vulnerable with you, they participate in the pettiness. So this is kind of like them confessing, but it's also them saying to you, don't argue with me about petty things. It's affecting our intimacy. It's affecting our communication. Intimacy doesn't just mean sex. It's affecting how we talk to each other. It's affecting how we care about each other. What was I saying this whole time? I don't want you to be a part of my karmatic cycles and the people in it. The song that channeled in for this reading, at the very least, it was the words in the chorus that were the strongest, and it was I believe it was by Ben Folds 10. If you guys know that band, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's she's a brick and I'm drowning slowly off the coast and I'm heading nowhere. That's the song that these cards wanted to come out to. So there's an unhappiness here that might be between you and the divine masculine, but I also feel like whoever they're trying to take care of, whoever those karmatic people is, or that karmatic female, It's someone who they may know the traumas that person went through, and that person may know their traumas. I'm feeling as if it's quite possible that you're dealing with divine masculines. Remember, I said this reading could be triggering. You might be dealing with a divine masculine that has suffered from some type of abuse, and they might have actually created a bond with someone who suffered also from abuse of some kind. And that person, it's not necessarily that they're manipulating them. It's just kind of like the person never came out of whatever the mental abuse experience was, whether it be mental, physical, or otherwise. They're kind of stuck in it. And it's kind of like when you have a relative that's an addict, right? They go through moments of being sober, and then they go through these moments of getting high. And when they get high, you know it's possible that they end up in dangerous situations. Specifically, your person, you know, can end up being in something dangerous, and you feel this need to kind of like take care of them. It's something with this feminine energy that they're protective of that makes them feel like, if I don't take care of them, if I don't help keep them out of that dark space, which by the way, it reminds the masculine of a dark space. But it's like, if I don't keep that person out of that, they can end up gone. At the same time, there's a heaviness about it. It's a heaviness to this responsibility. That's why the 10 of coins is in reverse. They feel heavy about having to do it. And it's also messing up their connection with you. But they just don't know how to balance the two. It's possible that they may have to release taking care of this person, but then that'll make them feel like they abandoned the person. So it's that conflict. At the same time, when they're arguing with you, they get the chorus of the song. So I would say you should probably listen to that song and be open-minded about the lyrics, because you have to understand the artist may have meant one thing and spirit channels it in as another thing. But there seems to be a person that they're very sensitive about how vulnerable that individual is. It's not an affair. It's not cheating. It's like they share in a trauma. If it is an ex, it's still an ex that they shared trauma with from maybe childhood, perhaps young teen years. And so while they may not be in love with them, they love them enough to be like, I don't want to see you dead on the street, or I don't want to see you being without. And that person may go through episodes, because that's what I'm hearing here, episodes. They may go through certain episodes where no one else can seem to get them to chill out or come back to reality but the masculine. And because it's a sensitive subject, perhaps with the attitude you have, it's why that person feels like they can't share it with you, because it may trigger something within them. It's another reason they may need time to reflect and really focus so that you guys can be more intimate when you have conversations. In the meantime and in between time, they're trying to have this stable foundation with you. It's a lot of, you have to take what resonates, because like I said, there are other masculine energies here, but that's something that's really coming in heavy. Let's go to, look at that. We have the Death card. Yeah, they may have to let go. That's going to be very difficult for them if there's a traumatic bond. But they may have to allow themselves to transform and let go, or at least pull back on how they take care of that person, because it's actually hurting them, and hurting them is hurting the connection with you. Also, notice how there's a fallen king here in the background. And it almost looks like this priest here is trying to protect this woman and child from suffering the same fate as this person here did. So there may have to be a death to the old version of themselves. And the inner child is still trying to be protected from whatever the traumatic experience is. And it may be time that they just have to let that part go. For those who that's the issue. For others, it feels like the divine masculine is taking time to reflect, because they're going through this almost like rebirth. Because that's really what the Death card is. It's like a rebirth. It's a transformation. They're going through this transformation. So you take it how it resonates for your masculine. Let's look at another one. We have moving forward. Yeah, like I said, some of them, whether it's a karmatic family member, ex-lover, because I do feel like some masculines feel really, really, really responsible for family, like mother, father, someone like that. It's time to move forward from that, to let it go, to transition, possibly, if necessary, even move away, move to a different location, just so that they can have because if they're near that family member, that person, or whoever it is, they're going to still feel like when they call, well, I'm 20 minutes away. I'm 5 minutes away. They may need to move the kind of distance where they can control themselves from feeling like I got to get in my car right now and go take care of such and such, you know? But in the boat, we still have what I feel to be the divine feminine. Some of you may have children with this person or a child with this person. Could be another reason that this individual feels the need to work so hard to have money, because it's one thing if you're taking care of you don't necessarily maybe live together, you're taking care of yourself. Of course, you want enough to maybe take out your significant other and whatnot. And then you have to like spend your money on other things. So that's one thing. But it's different when you're taking care of, say, your fiance, wife, and a child, or girlfriend, child, and another person and some relatives. Like, that's a lot. It's a lot to be on one person's plate. But I do feel like the divine masculine wants to change this around for his feminine. So there's some issues when it comes to loyalty here, because dogs represent loyalty. And whether it's you not trusting them, I do feel like it's the divine masculine that doesn't trust the feminine when it comes to what it is they're vulnerable about. But I also feel like some of these feminists, because of how it looks, they're not trusting the masculines. Yeah, see, these masculines feel stuck. They feel trapped. Trapped in either a union, not with you. For those of you going through separation where you know your partner is with someone else, if you were wondering, yes, they feel trapped in that situation. Could be a child in that situation. Sometimes when people have toxic karmatic partners and exes, if they've had kids with them, they use the kids as leverage or heavy hanging over their head. They may feel very trapped if a child's being used in that sense. Especially, again, if you're dealing with a divine masculine that dealt with some type of trauma in their childhood. Using a child against them it'll mess their head all up. All right, let's go to the bottom of the deck for a second. Four of Coins. Feeling the need to just save and save and save and hog everything. I don't feel like this is about hogging something from you or keeping something from you. But again, financially, there's this feeling of not having enough. And I don't feel like all of you are struggling per se, even with the quarantine. But when it comes to, again, having to take care of themselves, if they do live with you, help this person, it's a lot. It's a lot. So this could be another past energy that they're trying to let go of. They're trying to understand how to not just hold on and cling, how to also give and receive. Yeah, I really feel like there is a issue in their past, a toxic issue in the past. I know that, most people see the devil card. Once again, that's Capricorn energy, by the way. Most people see the devil card and they think of all of the temptation things the devil card means. But in this instance, I feel like perhaps the person they take care of, if that person is an ex, they're bound together by trauma. Not sexual interest or anything. It's a state of trauma. And this divine masculine is trying to break this bond. They're trying to let go of these energies, but they just feel like if they leave that person in the cold, something may happen. They have a choice to make. They have a decision that needs to be made here. Right? Many options before them. They may not feel like that though. They do have a choice. The choice is possibly between choosing you and only you, and moving, again, that Six of Swords, moving forward, might have to move away with you to grow, to expand, to build on your relationship, or stay where they have to take care of whoever this person is. Because again, not all of them feel like they're dealing with a karmatic toxic person, but somebody who's really like they need help. And they don't know, no one else calms them down or gets them to stop having an episode like the masculine can. For others, it's relatives of theirs, and there's a lot of question of loyalty coming in here on both ends, your end and the masculine's end. Yeah, I'm sensing a move may be necessary because we have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands, they're they just go for it. That spiritual journey, a spiritual journey is definitely needed here. Remember, your masculine said, I need time to reflect. They feel like they don't, even if they live with you, they kind of feel like they're always out of time. Just, there's never enough time to do something or to get things done, especially if they're working multiple jobs. If they're working multiple jobs, divine feminines, then they can't possibly be cheating on you. Like, if they're working 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jobs, and I don't just mean whatever they have to do that's maybe, you know, like an office or something, because a lot of people are working from home now. But if they also feel like, I gotta also, you know, do my entrepreneurship thing or whatever it is, it's very hard to cheat on someone when you feel like you don't have time. Yes, there's 24 hours in a day. I have a podcast where I speak about how you actually have more time than you think you do. It's a mental state, but it's a crippling mental state nonetheless. When you really feel like you don't have much time in the world, and it feels like when you wake up, your day starts, when you go to sleep, your day's still starting, it can create a lot of fatigue, first of all, and then mental anguish when it comes time to communicate with people, even with inner self. However, I do feel like these masculines, because it's a lot of masculines coming in here, I feel like these masculines are ready to move forward. They're ready to have a spiritual like awakening and get themselves together, deal with inner child issues. I would go to the inner child cards, but I'm not feeling such a strong pull to do that because, again, this reading wasn't meant to be too triggering. I knew some triggering things would come out, but, you know, we don't want to dive too deep into something. But I do feel like you guys have to try and relax a bit on these divine masculines. They're dealing with something harsh here. For those of you dealing with a divine masculine where mainly the issues are possibly a karmatic partner or family, you know, that they're having this problem with, again, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made. And there's a lot of options on how to make those decisions and what they are. At the end of the day, the masculine needs to make a choice. And you also would need to make a choice. A real deep conversation needs to happen. For some of you, you're going to need to give your masculine time. You're going to have to be patient because this isn't an easy thing to talk about. It's not an easy thing to fix. They do want to come back to you if they're in separation with you. They do. If they're currently with you, the passion to move forward with you is there. The passion to have this like a spiritual awakening with you is there, to return to intimacy. But first, they feel like they have to journey out, perhaps on their own. So if you are not on a break, some of you may need to take a break. I feel like that's your reading, my loves. I'm not really feeling compelled to go to this deck over here. I feel like the focus needs to stay on the masculine energy for this reading. I hope that gave you some clarity, some guidance. I would say really have a conversation with your higher self. Use your intuition and discernment in this situation, and just remember to be compassionate, to be compassionate towards this masculine. Regardless of what's going on, you don't want to be bitter. You don't want to be foul, because this is someone who, in fact, we'll shake this reverse 10 of Pentacles out, and we'll flip it for this union, because this is somebody that wants to do that. But be mindful that some of these masculines, if they were to draw away without the proper, like, let's take a break for you to collect yourself, then the issue with loyalty may turn into you or them doing something y'all might regret later with either other people. So just be mindful. That's what I keep hearing. Be mindful, be compassionate. You have decisions to make. They have decisions to make. Blessings to you. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls.